The original PlayStation, from its inception, was the biggest rival to the juggernaut that is Nintendo, and despite their 5th generation being technically inferior to the Nintendo 64, Sony did a great job putting the system up against the competition. While Crash may have been one of the most prominent mascots of the PS1, Spyro the Dragon quickly came in and fought with Crash for the title of King of the PlayStation. At least, that's how the internet describes this time period. While the PS1 and N64 fights were a little before my time, me being born a little after the systems were released, I have of course heard the tales of these games and their mascots. My experience with the Spyro series is very minimal to say the least. I've only really played the original Spyro, which is what I am reviewing today, and the GBA title Season of Ice. I didn't like Season of Ice that much, to be honest, and that left a really bad taste in my mouth regarding Spyro for years afterwards. So this time on That Game Review Show, we're going to be taking a look at Spyro the Dragon. My history with the first game is as basic as it gets. I bought it on PSN, played it on my PSP, and enjoyed it. I haven't really played it at all since. I do want to say from the outset, I am very much so a bigger Crash fan than I am a Spyro fan. I prefer linear platformers way over explorative collectathons. Not really sure why, but that's always been the case. If the name of the studio creating the game sounds familiar, Insomniac Studios, they also created the successor to the Spyro series, Ratchet & Clank. And yes, part of my decision reviewing this game came down to Terrell having released his review of the Ratchet & Clank reboot. It also had a short little romp on the Xbox One with the game Sunset Overdrive. It was aight, and there's gotta be something else. Oh yeah, they made Spider-Man. By the time of writing the script, I'm still making my way through Spider-Man, but hopefully by the time it comes out, I will have the Platinum Trophy for the game.
For a dragon's age.
We start off with an interview with the Dragons of the Realm. They're talking about their treasure and whatnot when the reporters ask them about their main foe, Nasty Nork. The dragons make fun of Nasty, and the man himself saw the interview in progress and ends up turning the other dragons into crystal, leaving only Spyro due to his smaller size. At least I'm pretty sure that's what happens. Thankfully, for my sanity, this game isn't nearly as big of a plot dump as God of War 2 was last time. And with that, the game itself has far less going on as well. And that's not to the offense of the game. The game works with what it has and it works very well. As a dragon, you can glide and shoot fire. You can also jump and charge into enemies. The main objective of the game is to free the dragons and collect all the sparkling gems in all the worlds. And you're not doing it alone. Along your journey, you're accompanied by the dragonfly, Sparks, who acts as your health bar. He goes from yellow to blue to green every time you get hit. After green, he goes away, and if you get hit one more time, Spyro is a goner and you lose a life. Another benefit to having Sparks around is the fact that he collects gems for you. If you run up near where a gem is, he will automatically go and grab that gem for you, which is a godsend. Spyro doesn't handle fine controlling very well, so having this addition really helps. You may be looking at the game and noticing the world geometry almost shift and warp around you. This isn't an issue with the video. Insomniac pioneered a rendering technique where the further away an object is, the fewer polygons and resources they use, saving on rendering power. This is nice as it takes away from needing a lot of fog or restricted cameras like a lot of N64 and even other PlayStation 1 games had to abuse. This is also nice for finding all of the gems as well. At the furthest point, the gems are impossible to see, but if you pay close attention, you can see a small flash of light from the sparkling of the gem. I don't know, I just really like their attention to detail with stuff like this. Also, I love the effect of the portals have, where the world inside of the portal is its own space. I just think that's really cool. Oh, and I love how all the numbers from the gems you collect being fully rendered is a neat touch. The music in this game is pretty whimsical. Continuing the trend of me not really caring about the game music, the soundtrack is acceptable. I do want to point out a nice detail about the presentation in this game. All the cutscenes are all in engine. I'm sure there were games that did this before, and probably better, but I love how they did it. Though most of them are just the scenes of freeing the dragons, it's really nice to see. Oh yeah, I need to point out this small little thing. I fucking hate the flying levels. I don't know what it is. I guess it comes down to the fact that they're not horribly open or anything, but wow, I really do not like these levels. Once upon a time, I did them all in pursuit of completion, but upon replaying this for the review, I just could not be bothered. Every review I've seen of this game has the reviewer praising the flight levels like some second coming of Christ, but I just cannot agree. Admittedly, I didn't beat this game again for the review. It's equal parts lack of wanting to, and just not needing to. Overall, the game stays pretty much the same, just with the different levels. I'll definitely be replaying it all the way for the Reignited trilogy though. Spyro was a really strong contender for the best 3D platformer back in the day. Now, as far as how well it holds up today, it really doesn't. Spyro is too stiff. The level design can be great at times, but overall it's pretty annoying. The graphics reek of early PlayStation 1, Spyro has way too much attitude. And I will be fair with this part since I'm a much bigger Crash fan. Crash 1 does not hold up today either. Unforgiving saving, mixed with really stiff 3D platforming locked to the D-pad equals a tough experience. At least with Spyro, it uses the analog stick even if you seem to be locked in 8 directions. As for how well it holds up compared to its sequels, I have no idea. I've never played them. I will admit though, I am pretty excited for the Reignited trilogy, and I will end up playing through 2 and 3. Or maybe just wait for the Switch release whenever that ends up coming out. If you're a die-hard fan of 3D platformers, I wouldn't really even play this. There are much better games out there that have aged a little bit better. Hell, I'm not a huge fan of Super Mario 64, but go play that. That is what we call a hot take.